Hello? Oh, thank you. Yeah, my name's James. If you don't know me, me and John Boy, we do go back quite a bit. Pastor Allen, he told me to share about my trip to Korea and a little testimony about it. And before I start, I just wanted to show you, if you guys don't know about North Korea, I just wanted to show you guys a quick clip. Just gives you the basic information that you need to know that's what's going on in North Korea. So if I could have you guys play that real quick. mission trip, a North Korean refugee, she gave it to me, and it's a picture that she took of the river, or it's not up there, but it's the river that you see, that's the actual river that you have to cross into China. And in the picture, there's kids across yelling at her, telling her, give me food, trying to cross. But she was telling them, don't cross, because she knows that the guards will shoot them if they try to cross. So I just, I know there's a lot of bad in North Korea, but in my trip, I realized there's also a lot of good going on in North Korea. And before I share my testimony, I kind of just wanted to share why I even went to North Korea. If anyone knows me, I'm like the whitest Asian you will ever meet. I was born in Texas. I don't have any Korean culture. The only thing about Koreans I like is the Korean food. I do speak Korean, but not because I have to. It's because I was taught when I was a little baby. And about a little over a year ago in Chi Alpha campus ministry, one of my campus pastors told me, he gave us homework. He said, hey, for your homework, I want you to listen to God. And I was sitting there as a leader. I do that every day. That's the same homework. I listen to God every day. And kind of just, put it under the rug. I'm a leader. I listen to God every day. This is not for me. And but something in my heart was like, you know what? No, I need to do this. This is homework. And ever since then, it was like God had a thumb drive, and He just stuck it into my head, and it was a constant just, what is Christianity? What is church? What does it truly mean to be a Christian? What are you living for? Are you a Christian? I mean, He was asking me these questions like, I'm in Chi Alpha, I go to church, I tithe, I wear a cross around my neck, yeah, I'm a Christian, and He kept asking me, who's your neighbor? And I was like, what? Who's your neighbor? And I was like, God, I give to the, I give charity, I help out here and there. And He's like, who is your neighbor? And He asked me, when was the last time you helped the poor? And I said, I helped Thanksgiving. I fed the poor. And He asked me, what was their names? Did you go back? And it just really, convicted me what true Christianity is. And, just like the casual Christian, in a sense, I don't think there's such thing as a casual Christian. You're either Christian or you're not. Tonight, God, He was just really speaking to me. And we went to a conference, and I've been to tons of conferences. I'm sure there's people that's been to a ton of conferences, and you get on a conference high, you go, you worship God, you're on this, I love Jesus. You're surrounded by tens of thousands of people that love Jesus. And we were at this one thing conference, and there was this black guy on stage singing, and he started singing in Korean. And I was like, what? Nah, he ain't singing Korean. He's some different language. And he was singing in Korean, and then I've never heard so many people singing in Korean. And I started singing, and I speak Korean, but not a lot, because like I said, I'm the whitest Asian you'll ever meet. So obviously over time I lost it because I don't use it. And I was trying to pray to God in Korean, and I couldn't. And I got angry. I got frustrated. I was crying. I was just in a moment of just desperation, and God spoke to me, and He told me, do you know who you are? You are special. Everyone in here is special. There's a special price that Jesus paid for you. Everyone here is special. And He was speaking to me that you are Korean, and there's a reason why you are Korean. And I took it to heart, and I was like, okay, I'm Korean. And I kind of put it on the back burner. And this was my last year of college. I was my last year of teaching, and I was graduating, and I was thinking man, I want to be a principal. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to have a family. Not to say these are all bad things, but I was so concentrated on I'm going to get a job when I graduate. Got a job. My first year of teaching last year was doing great. Moving up, principal loves me. Was like, what? I can totally see you being a principal. This summer, I'm going to send you to training. Let's get you on that track so you can be a principal, make the big bucks, and get you on your future. And God was speaking to me hey, you forget what I told you. I just told you? And, I was kind of like, yeah, I get it. I'm Christian. I'm a Korean. Got it. And he spoke to me, I want you to go to Korea. And the last time I went to Korea was when I was about 10, and I got jumped. I got jumped by a bunch of Korean kids, beat me up at the playground. So that was my last memory of Korea, getting beat up. And I had no reason to go, didn't want to go. Summertime, I was like, God, I'm going to training. Like, you sent me to college to be a teacher. I'm going principal. That's where you want me to go. And he was like, no, I want you to go to Korea. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know, God. And, okay, I'll go. And he was telling me, you know what? I want you to go to North Korea. And I was like, God, you kind of pushing it. Like, I'll go to Korea. They got Korean food over there. They got K-pop, all that good stuff, whatever. But North Korea, you kind of, what? Like, I don't know about that. And he kept putting it on my heart. I was telling my friend, like, hey, God's putting this on my heart. Trying to get out of it. I'm like, can you kind of talk me out of it? And, I was telling my pastors, I was like, hey, man, God's told me to go to Korea. My church, Red Hill, they had a mission trip, short-term mission trip to Korea. So I was like, all right, I guess that's my avenue. So I put my name in and it got canceled. So that was my ticket to God saying, God, I did it. It got canceled, man, I gotta go. It's not my time. We like to say God's timing a lot. God's timing. But sometimes, at least in my walk, it's not about God's timing. It's God telling me to get off your butt and go. I told you to go. It's your time. You're wasting time. And so I felt like he was keep pressing it on my heart after it got canceled. So I told my pastor again. You know what? God's telling me to go. He's like, go where? North Korea. He's like, it got canceled. He's like, I know, but he wants me to go. He's like, so I was like, no, I'm just gonna go. And my pastor was like, I don't think that's a good idea. You have no connections over there. And I was like, I'm just gonna go. So I kind of just let God do his thing, because every time God tells you to do something and you take a step out of faith, things are it's just gonna move like that. I promise you, if you just go, it's gonna be boom, boom, boom. And I was like, all right, God, I'm just gonna put it out there in the world, in my little bubble, telling people, yeah, man, I'm gonna go. Even my parents were like, you need to stay at your job and get married. They were like, you need to raise a family. You don't need to go to North Korea. They got plenty of North Koreans over there. And my mom's a pastor, and I love her to death, but I think she was just wearing her mama hat on, and she just wants me to settle down like every parent wants. But I was just putting it out there, and suddenly Henry, I don't know if you guys know Henry, he works for Hawaiian Airlines. He's also a good buddy of mine from Chi Alpha. And he was like, hey, I heard you want to go to Korea. I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, yeah, I can help you. I was like, all right, he works for Hawaiian Airlines, and I thought he'd give me like $100, $200 discount. I was like, yeah, what can you get me a ticket for? He's like, $400. I was like, oh, one way? He's like, no, round trip. So I was like, say, what, $400 a round trip? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I got that done. So I was like, all right, got my ticket, but I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm staying. I don't know who I'm helping. I just know God wants me to go to North Korea. So the pastor that's in Korea now, he Facebooks me. I said, hey, I heard you want to still come to Korea. And I was like, yeah, I do. And, we Skyped on the phone, and he was like, let's fast and pray about it. So God fasted and prayed, and we both obviously came to a conclusion that, this is God's calling. He felt good about it. So I told him, how much is this going to cost me? Because if anyone's been on a mission trip, it costs to go on missions. And, thousands, 6,000, whatever. So I'm like, man, I got $400 for the ticket. I'm thinking like 2 months. That's the summer, maybe 6,000, 7,000. I don't know. So I asked him. I was like, how much money do I gotta, support? And he told me, don't worry about it. And I was like, kind of taking it as, are you saying don't worry about it because God's going to take care of it? Or are you saying don't worry about it because it's free? That was in my head. I didn't say it that way, but I was thinking in my head, and I was like, so I asked him again. I was like, God, wait. What do you mean don't think about it? And he was like, don't think about it. I was like, when you say don't think about it, are you saying don't raise support because it's free? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time. I don't have to pay for food, and I don't have to pay for housing. It is free, like no money. And he said, yes, don't worry about it. So I was like, all right. So So pretty much my mission trip cost me $400, and I was there for 2 months. And I get to Korea, and I was part of this community called Happy Tree. Kind of a funny name when I heard it, but it's a community that lives together inside of a town, and they share everything. I mean everything. They work together. They have a school, they have a bakery, a rice cake shop, a church, an office, and a bunch of farms. And they literally don't have a paycheck. They live in the community. Whatever the community makes, it goes into the community. They don't get a paycheck. The community pays for their housing, food, medical, dental, education, the kids' college, and each family gets a small little stipend if they need, I don't know, if they want to go watch a movie maybe in a couple of months or something like that. And when I heard about that, I asked the pastor, I was like, it sounds all great and all, but, to me it kind of sounded a little cultish. I was like, hey, I'm working for my money, I need my money, like that's what I work for, don't just take it from me, let me give it to you. And he gave me his testimony where he was a pastor of a mega church in Korea. Tons of people. Now, if you know anything about Korea, Korea has a church that has the 1 million congregation, which is crazy. I went to go visit. It is crazy. Let's just leave it at that. And he told me, he was pastoring one day, and he realized he didn't know his congregation. He felt like, what am I doing here? They're just coming every Sunday, and I'm just preaching. What am I doing? And he felt God put North Korea on his heart. So he said, you know what? He packed up all his stuff, took his family, and he went to the community that I was staying at, which is about 10 miles away from North Korea, from the border. And some community members, of course, followed him from the church, and they literally lived together. And, living with that family, I was there for 2 months. You truly, it's hard to understand how wealthy we are here in America. I mean, it's really hard to understand that. And, when I went to Korea, I love to eat. The community only ate meat on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So when I heard that, I was like, man, you guys eat meat on only Wednesdays and Saturdays? And not gonna lie, sometimes it was dog. So if you guys ever ate dog, it's good. I'm gonna let you know right now, don't discriminate, dog is good. Not to say that I condone it or anything like that, but it was good. But we only ate it on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And is anyone farmers here? No one farmers? Man, you guys are lucky. I farmed the whole time in Korea, and farmers, I have the most respect. If I see another weed, I am gonna scream, because you pull out the weed and literally the roots, I think it's good. Yeah, you pull out the weeds of the root. It's good. No, it comes back somehow. 3 days later, there's more roots and weed coming up. And, the pastor I gained a lot of respect for this pastor only because, I got to live with him. I got to see how he interacted with his children, his family. We worshiped every Wednesday night as a community. We prayed every morning as a community in the morning. And, I was thinking, if I'm the pastor, I'm the head pastor of this community, what would I do? There's a bakery, there's a rice cake shop, an office, a school, a church, and a farm. I was thinking, I'm probably going to do like the office job. Something not so strenuous, because, hey, man, I'm the pastor. I gotta be on my A game to preach on Sunday. But he farms. And he has 3 farms, and they're big farms. I'm not talking about like a little taro patch. It's like nothing against small taro patches, but it's a big farm. And he farms with this other, we call her a Harmony. If you don't know what Harmony, obviously you guys wouldn't know what Harmony is unless you watch K-pop, but K-drama. But Harmony is grandma in Korean. And it's only him and this grandma that takes care of these 3 farms. And it just amazes me because I'm helping him and I'm just dying after like 30 minutes of weeding. And he's just trucking it, just weeding. Grandma, we have trails weeding. She's 3 trails ahead of me and I'm still behind weeding. And it just kind of gave me a really perspective on, he didn't think of himself higher than anyone in this community. He was like, you know what? I don't care if I'm a pastor. I'm going to do what needs to be done. If you need some people at the farm, then that's where I'm going to be. And, even the kids, like, I work at a school, so I interact with a lot of kids, and I get so irritated when kids, I'm old. I know I look young, but I'm old. I'm 32. I know that's not like that old, but I feel old. And when I look at like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and they got iPhones, and they got little gaming machines, and they get angry when I take their iPhone. And I'm just like, man, I'm about to. You're lucky we're at school right now. Jesus, But these kids in Korea, we had a birthday, and I was thinking, man, we're gonna party. It's birthday, yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna party in Korea. I've never been to a Korean birthday party. We're gonna get crazy, And we wake up, I'm all excited, more excited than he was. I was like, yeah, happy birthday, woo! And he was just like, what is wrong with you? I was like, it's your birthday, yeah! I was excited because I was probably excited that we might eat meat, but we didn't eat meat that day. We went to this restaurant that serves noodles for $3. And he was like so happy. And I was sitting there like grumping, like, man, it's your birthday. I mean, $3 noodles. Like, what the man? And you got underwear. I know in this country, man, kids can probably call the police against your family that my mom and dad ain't buying me underwear, and you probably get arrested because you're not buying clean underwear. And I was just so amazed that he was so happy that he got underwear. Not in the sense that he didn't have underwear. He had plenty of underwear. And by the way, in Korea, they call them panties. So, I was very offended when the mom came up to me and said, hey, you want to help shop for panties? And I was like, what? Yeah, will you help me shop for panties for Joseph? And I was like, what? Panties for Joseph? What is wrong with you? And obviously I said yes because I didn't want to offend her. So I'm thinking, man, we're going to buy some panties for Joseph. So we go into this panty shop, and there's all these panties, underwear for guys. And she's all like, what do you think? You think he'll like this? I don't know. It had like a weird design on it. I'm like, man, I don't know. It's underwear. Like, no one's going to see it. He's 8 years old. Who cares what panties he wears? But that's just a funny story. But, it just really touched me how genuine they were. Like, I forgot how genuine kids can be. When you work in education, man, kids are just mean. They are just mean. It just, and when you're surrounded by them all the time, it's hard to see the goodness that's in every kid. I don't care how many, there is goodness in every child. And it was just so refreshing to see that in Korea. And I was just like, they really love for each other. They would make birthday cards and buy little quarter lollipops, and they were just so happy. And, the trip, it just really I look back at my life because before Korea, God was really speaking to me on being comfortable. Nothing against being comfortable, but for me, I know for me, when I get comfortable, I don't really think about God as much. I don't know about you guys, but when I get comfortable, like, I got a good job, I can go eat whenever I want, I have my own apartment, I had a car back then, and I was just really comfortable, even with my walk with God. And, God was really touching me, like, are you happy? Are you happy being comfortable? And at first I was like, yeah, I'm happy. Unless you want to bless me some more, I'll be more happy if you would. But I started to look at my life to really realize, man, like when he was telling me, are you helping the poor? Do you know your neighbor? What are you doing at your work? Are you feeding into your work? Are you making disciples? Oh, I know, I didn't just say the D word. Are you making disciples? That's not just the pastor's job. That's everybody's job. As a Christian, discipleship, that's everybody. And I was like, really convicted. And I was like, I just bought a new car. And, I told my pastor, I'm selling my car. He's like, why? I think God's telling me to sell my car. So I can give more generously. And I told my mom, and she was like, you dumb. Why are you going to sell your... In Korean, of course, sorry for my language, is pabuya. Pabuya! How are you going to get a girlfriend with no car? and I was like, no, man, it's not all about the girlfriend. And, but of course, when God tells you to do something, it happens, right? So, I put the feelers out there, I put it on Craigslist, and I try to be slick. My relationship with God, when God tells me to do something, I kind of try to find an out. So I was like, God, I'll put it on Craigslist, but I'm going to put it high. I'm going to put, it's a Civic, so I'm like, God, I'll put it on there. I'll put it like $3,000 above the price, because I know no one's going to call for it. And what happens 3 days later? Somebody calls for it, and I'm just like, what? Are you crazy? Are you going to buy my Civic for $3,000 overpriced? Sure enough, she calls me, and I meet her, she loves the car, and she buys it. And I felt bad like a jerk, because it's $3,000 overpriced, so I actually dropped it, and she was like happy, because I was like, man, you were going to buy it overpriced, like, you don't research before you buy a car? What's wrong with you? So I dropped the price for her, and turns out she actually worked at my school before me. So I was like, are you serious? And we started talking. She was a Christian. I was telling her about my walk, and she ended up giving me some money. I didn't tell anybody this, but she gave me not a lot, but she gave me a little offering for my, because I told her I'm selling my car so I can give more. She's like, oh my God, that's amazing. You know what? Here, I'll give you some money. And I was like, amen. So, and now, of course, I don't have a car. I've learned a lot riding the bus. Our transportation here is not so great, so if you ride the bus, man, I get much respect. My trip, and that was just the first part of my trip, and it really, I was touched by just how genuine the people are, how genuine people love. Like, have you guys ever felt genuine love? Not from your family, not from your friends, but just a stranger. Usually when you go on mission trips, you kind of still feel like a stranger. You're there doing good work, they're nice to you, but you never feel that home. And when I was living in this pastor's house, I literally felt I was his son. I literally felt all the kids were my brothers and sisters. It's an experience that I can never duplicate, that I don't want to duplicate. It's an experience that I hope I never forget, and I remind myself every day, and I feel that love just changed me. It made me look at my life like, you know what? The way I was living it doesn't make any sense anymore. Not to say you can't pursue your dreams. If you're in education, you're in school. I'm not saying drop all that stuff. But for me, I felt, God, I don't need to be a principal. I don't need a house. I don't need to get married. I don't need to have kids. You know what? It would be nice to do those things. And I know if I did those things, you would still be happy with me, because I would still do ministry and those things. But for me, it just didn't make sense. And the second part of my trip is where it really hit me. So obviously I wanted to go to North Korea. So I started talking to a bunch of underground churches. How do they get through, to North Korea, get my visa situated. And the team that I was going to go with was actually going to go 3 weeks after I was going to leave. So it actually turned out I couldn't go. So I was really bummed. And I was like, God, you told me to come here to go to North Korea, and I'm not going. Well, what is up? And, again, God is amazing. He tells you to do something, He has a plan. And there's a school just for North Korean refugees that was about 10 miles up the road. And I taught there for the last month that I was at Korea. And, hearing their stories, seeing that documentary, yeah, you see a couple of pictures, you see a couple of videos, you see a couple of stats up there. Oh, it's sad. That's kind of about what you get, because you don't have a connection, But me having that connection with a 16-year-old girl that was in North Korea, that escaped to China, that was in sex trafficking for a couple of years, that has a child, that had to escape down through Mongolia, back to South Korea. I mean, hearing his whole family die, being abandoned, and didn't know what to do, and just crosses with his friends. All his friends died except him, is in China, doesn't speak Chinese, gets sold as a slave, escapes. I mean, just hearing these stories, it was hard for me to look into their eyes, because in a sense, it was hard for me to give them hope. Because I was just like, how are you still waking up every day. Because I felt like for me, if that happened to me, I don't know where I would be. And, you know, to hear their stories and just to be able to live life with them, teaching them English, trying to get them into college, trying to get them into the school system, it literally, my life did not make sense. I realized, God, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't care. I want to be in North Korea. I want to help the North Korean people. And one day, North Korea will be no more, and it will only be one Korea. It will only be one Korea. And I truly believe the people that I spoke with in Korea, it's going to happen within our lifetime. Kim Jong-un, his health is going, if you didn't know. The people in North Korea, hearing from the teenagers that crossed, that generation don't look at Kim Jong-un as a god. The older generation, they looked at him like, man, he is a god. He can read our minds. You do not look at him. If you lie to him, you die on the spot. They looked at him as a god. But the younger generation right now, all they know of him is death. Their parents died. Their grandparents died. They're starving. No one is helping them except for their own. One girl that I spoke with, she said, I had to make a living, so I grew potatoes, and I traded with someone to get rice, and then I took some of the rice to trade something else to get water, and then I took a little bit of the water to trade for other things, and they're having an underground movement in North Korea. And just like any revolution, it starts from the ground up. I don't know if you guys know a lot about history, but any revolution you look at in anybody's history, it always starts from the ground up. And I truly believe to help rebuild schools, to use my education, to help build curriculums, to use just being American, use that to get into North Korea. Because as a Korean, you cannot get into North Korea legally. So as an American, you can get in with a visa. Obviously, you can't preach the gospel. You can't give a Bible to anyone. Because if you do, you will be put in a concentration camp. And right now, we have people in concentration camps right now. If you didn't know about the concentration camp system in North Korea, if I do something against the government, I'm not the only person that gets punished. 3 generations back gets punished. So all my uncles, brothers, nieces, grandparents, it don't matter. If you didn't do anything, they grab them, you're in a concentration camp. That's how deadly it is in North Korea. So if I escape North Korea, your whole generation concentration camps. So a lot of people don't really escape because they're afraid. But some people still do, because it's either die, cross China, make money, come back, or bring food, or just die. And but I truly believe that, one of the biggest things that I feel that I prayed about, what does God want to tell you tonight? My testimony is great, but that's my testimony. That's not yours. I don't expect anyone here to go to Korea. If you do, great, come talk to me. I will talk you up a storm and we can charge it together. But that's not your testimony. I'm not here to tell you your testimony. That's your job. That's your relationship with God. And, the biggest, the verse that I felt God wanted me to speak upon tonight is Matthew 16, verse 24. I would say almost any average Christian knows this verse. You might not know it was Matthew chapter 16, verse 28, but you've heard of this verse. Just like, God so loved the world that, Jesus Christ came down. Everyone knows that verse. This verse, I would say every Christian knows, and it's take up your cross and follow Jesus, where Jesus is telling his disciples, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. And, I just ask that everyone here tonight, what are you living for? What are you really living for on this earth? Are you living to get that nice car? Are you living to get that nice iPhone? Not to say if you get a nice car, if you get an iPhone, you're going to hell or anything like that. But what are you living for? Because if you die and all you do is have a nice car, have a nice career, and I became a principal, and that's all you do, honestly, I'm not here to judge, but just looking at that life, I can't say you're a Christian. Because anybody does that. People that are not Christians do that. So, I really want to ask you, I really want you to ask yourself tonight, what are you living for? If you want purpose, if you really want purpose, make disciples. Start from there. You want purpose? Read the Bible. Pray. Don't worry about anything else because all the other stuff will come. It will come. And if it doesn't come, you need to pray harder, and you need to read more, and you need to make more disciples if you can. Because it's going to come. Because the last thing I want for you guys is to walk out this door, go to college. For me, for instance, I went to college. Yes, I went to Chi Alpha, but that was one Wednesday a week. Everyone that's in college, you will never, ever be in that type of environment ever again. Take advantage of it. If you're in college, there's people around you right now that is suffering. There's people that are right now that don't know Jesus. There's people that are right now that is easy for you to talk with, communicate with. I'm telling you right now, at work, me being at school, it is very hard to talk about Jesus. I still try, but it is very hard in the workplace. But in college, it should be easy. And if it's not, come talk to me. Come talk to your pastor. Come talk to your worship leader. Come talk to any of your church members. I guarantee you they'll help you. Because it's not your job to save someone. A lot of people think, oh man, I can't disciple. I got stuff that I got to work on. The Bible verse. How am I supposed to call someone out of the speck of his eye when I got a ton of specks in my own eye? I'm blind. I can't help nobody. If you're a Christian and you love Jesus and you pray, you have a relationship with God, you are a disciple. For the longest time, I thought, you know what, God, I can't be a missionary. Dude, I don't know a ton about the Bible. I have a hard time memorizing Bible verses. My mom memorizes Bible verses like it's nothing. In Korean and in English. And I'm just like, that's not me. And God doesn't hate me because I have to look down and read the Bible verse. You don't get any extra cool points because you can splurt out a couple of Bible verses off your head. Obviously, it's good to remember Bible verses, not to say I don't try to memorize it, because it is good to be filled with the Word in your body. So what if you don't have the Bible? How are you going to be filled with the Word if you don't get the Bible? Obviously, I have my Bible with me all the time because I can't remember it. And we have iPhones and all these other Androids. But, the biggest thing I just want you to know tonight is, really, what are you living for, man? I went through college. I didn't tell one person about Jesus. I could never get that back. Never get that back. But I tell you right now, every day I go to my school at Barbers Point Elementary, every chance I get, I try to pray for them. I always say, can I pray for you? Even if they're not a Christian, hey, can I pray for you? Every morning, I get there early in the morning. School starts at 8. I take the bus at 5, get there at 6:30, and I prayer walk. I'm not trying to be like boasting or anything like that, but I mean, Christian is not an easy life. It's not easy. If you think being a Christian is just come to church, be in a net group or a small group, pray, and read the Bible, and get in the Word, you're good? No. The very last thing God said to His disciples before He descended up to heaven was, do you guys know? The Great Commission? I'm pretty sure all you guys know. He said, go out. Make disciples. He didn't say, you know what? I'm going to go up to heaven. Hey, I want you guys to be in net groups. Go to church. I'll see you guys in a couple million years. Peace. No. He said, make disciples. Go out. Baptize them in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit. But for some reason in this, I like to call American Christianity silver spoon Christianity sometimes, because I feel like we get silver spoon too much. Because we like to, close your eyes. Not to say that's a bad thing, close your eyes, raise your hand. But I'm just giving an example where, close your eyes. If you want Jesus in your life, raise your hand. And you say this prayer, and it's like, bam, you're saved. We don't tell them sometimes, not all, some cases we do, but sometimes they don't understand the choice that they're really making. And that sometimes can be bad. Very bad. Because they think, oh, I need to change a little bit at a time. But when I read this, when you accept Jesus into your life, you are not the same person. You are born again. If you look at my life from about 6 years ago, I was in the Navy. I was a very bad man. Very bad man. Drugs, sex. I mean, it didn't matter what. I did whatever I wanted, didn't care. Woke up in a different girl's house. It did not matter. Lived whatever I wanted, had all the money in the world, had a nice car, rims, stereo. It was all about me. But it took God to take all that away from me to realize I'm not in control. But that's a whole nother testimony. I just want you guys to know, really, what are you living for? Because the last thing I want is to die and not see you in heaven. That is my fear. I would rather lose you as a friend, to call you out and say, hey, that's not right, man. Hey, do you know Jesus? Than be kind of afraid. It's okay to be afraid. I was afraid to come up here. To be honest, my sermon, I'm not even going off of it. I was speaking, and I just feel the Holy Spirit just speaking to me like, you need to go this other way. And I feel God was really wanting this church to know, what are you living for? Is it only about you? Really, is it only about you? God wants you to work on you. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's only you, if you're not helping the poor, something is wrong. Something is very wrong. And I'm not saying you have to do things to gain, access into heaven or anything like that. But I feel if you know Jesus and you have his heart, you should want to do these things. It's not something like, I gotta help the poor. I gotta pray. I gotta read. You should want to do these things. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate reading. But I try to read. I was ELL. I don't know if you guys know what that is. English is my second language, and I had a hard time. Even now, I get laughed at when I read the Bible. I mispronounce almost every word in the Bible. I wish they had a different version just for me. But I really just want you to check your heart tonight, because that's the biggest thing that God wants. Where is your heart? If it's not for Jesus, man, you come up. You need prayer right now. If your heart is not for Jesus, you need prayer. Because again, the last thing I want is for you to die tomorrow. Because we don't know. We don't know when you're going to die. My school alone just had 3 deaths. In the past 2 weeks, my librarian's son died on a hike. My co-worker's uncle died of a heart attack. And one of the teacher's sisters passed away from cancer. You don't know when you're going to die. And if that doesn't scare you, it should. Because you don't want to die and tell Jesus, open up the pearly gates, I know you. And he looks at you and says, I don't know you, get away from my sight. And again, I'm not here to judge anyone. I just feel this is something that God really wants me to tell the church tonight. What are you really living for? Really? Is it popularity? Is it to look cool? Because God doesn't care about cool. He doesn't. If you can find it in the Bible, hey, teach me something. He doesn't care about being cool. He cares about you. He cares about the lost. He cares about the poor, the helpless. And if you're not doing something, I'm not saying you have to change the world, but are you doing something? Who's that one person? All it takes is one. Leads to 2, 3, 4. Who's that one person God's putting on your heart? To help, to say hi, to give a hug, to pay for their lunch. Who's that one person? To pray for. Don't just say, hey, how you doing? I'm okay. No. How are you doing? How are you really doing? Because we kind of have this checklist, I feel like, sometimes in church. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. No. I don't think you heard me. How are you doing? How's your prayer life? Oh man, I know he just didn't ask me that. How's your prayer life? That's a hard question to ask sometimes. I don't like being asked that. My prayer life, to be honest, is not that great right now. If I'm going to be transparent with you guys. But I'm honest with that. If you ask me, I'm honest. So again, I just, Wayne, if you can come up and just play a little bit, I just ask that this is your time with God. So really, really just check yourself right now. Where are you at? Where are you at? What are you living for? All you need to know is you're living for Jesus. Really, that is all you need to know. Your future, why worry about the future? Seriously. My mom tells me all the time, when are you going to get married? I don't care about when I'm going to get married. I don't care about that. I don't care about when are you going to be a principal. I don't care about my house. I got a house right now. Don't need another house. I want to hear from everyone here tonight. Get right with Jesus. Really ask, what are you living for? Ray, do you know the song Through and Through? Through and Through is one of my, I don't know if you guys know this song. It is one of my favorite songs. It's a very short song. The lyrics is just so powerful. Because it's all about Jesus. It's all about Jesus. And I just ask, you don't have to stand up. You can sit down. You can do whatever you want. But all I ask is get real with Jesus tonight.